Hello, 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 and welcome to another code fun stream thing. How are you doing? I hope you're having a fantastic week so far. If you didn't know, I took Monday for myself, spent a lot of time getting the app closer to production ready. We are deploying on the 5th, and we're actually getting the first copy of it out to cybersecurity today. So I still have a lot to do. This is going to be a short stream. But I didn't want to cancel again. I'm still moving screens around, which is why you see me looking around everywhere. I didn't want to cancel again because I definitely love hanging out with the guys and doing Blazor related projects and learning more with you and hearing your opinions on stuff and hearing about what's going on with you. So I am here. And for those of you that are here as well, welcome. For those of you that are here in the future, welcome to you too as well. Thanks for being here. Thank you for sending your energy this way, even if it's a crosstalk. So we've been working through the project management app, the financial management application. And this application is intended to help you track your finances. And again, right now it's intended for single user. I do have UI set up for being able to log in and stuff like that. So it is in the plan, but at least right off the bat, we are just trying to get a working version of the app so that for myself, I could replace my Access database version of this. Because I know how to write web applications, full web applications in Blazor, and I'm still using Microsoft Access with macros to track my finances and an Excel workbook. Good times. He says that a lot lately. What was the name of it? Hopefully it wasn't the one that sounded like When You Wish Upon a Star. I didn't like that one. Oh, cool. I love talking to myself. So, there's a bunch of stuff that I haven't checked in. There's a bunch of added stuff. Right. So this check-in stuff is not actually from my repo. Last thing that I showed on Friday with the project was adding another repository's project, and still being able to, or not still being able to, and being able to manage both of them from the same Git changes. So I liked it seeing that. Right now we're not going to use my custom components. That was just I was showing it. It is for demo purposes. So now we're back to one repository and only the changes that I've made here. Cool. Fine. So the thing that I've been working on lately has been getting all of my lookup item view model stuff complete. There is one thing that I'm kind of interested in seeing. I was just now this morning able to watch the Steve Sanderson video from the latest .NET Conf where he was talking about the NavigationLock thing. And so I'm interested in seeing if I can use that. So let's find out what that entails. And it's available with .NET 7 and Blazor. And so if we go over to the, and I'm sure they're open, but if we go over to the edit forms, that don't have a base form, which is fine. I'll just use this here. We can use a new component called the NavigationLock. And so there are two types of navigation locks. There's an external lock, which have to do with, are you pressing the refresh button? Are you trying to close the browser? Are you trying to navigate to another page that is not in your app? And so the only things that you can do with that is send a message to the user. It's a standard message provided by the browser itself that has an OK cancel. And yeah, so you're essentially saying, just do it. And that is called confirm external navigation. However, we don't want it to be true every time, because what this means, I didn't hear about those, but maybe, yes. Hello, Scott. Scott was asking, are you going to use rate limiting and or output cache? It sounds like something fun to explore. This just seemed simple, and I'm not trying to do too complex at the moment, but that sounds like something that I really, really, really want to see soon. S***N. Have you already used it, or are you just wanting to? And Scott says, and Apocalypse says hello. The Wasm server. And then he peeks his head up. I love it. I haven't, but I think about using output cache. Yeah, I don't even know what output cache is. I know what the rate limiting one was because I was able to glance a little bit during .NET Conf at the screen and hear what they were talking about. And it was while they were showing minimal APIs that they were showing, even though they're minimal APIs, you can still do stuff like authenticated endpoints and rate limiting. And they showed how to do it, but I wasn't fully paying attention. And then I just don't remember seeing anything about output cache. But I can guess, or at least make some basic assumptions on what it is or what it's used for. But this, on the other hand, I was able to fully see. So it's caching the HTTP request output, making pages load faster. Yeah. The other thing that I saw, so like the only one that I was really able to pay attention to was Steve Sanderson's talk, where he showed the new empty project, which I loved, the new index.html. That can show the progress, which we're going to look at as well. I don't even know where I am. Doesn't matter. Looks like my build failed though. And look up list state, line 113. Excuse me. Where's the implementation? Control F12 for the win. Right, and TLOOKUP item now has to have a constraint. Yeah, I guess it would be here. A constraint that TLOOKUP item also has a new. It has a default constructor, which is different than my interface now. So you need it as well. And that should fix that error. Okay, what else am I missing? Oh, it loaded. Oh my gosh. So if you remember, what I'm doing currently is No, too small. Clear. I have a static version of my landing page that I'm displaying immediately while the app is still loading. And then when the app finally loads, then you can see the dynamic content. And that way, any of the portions of the app that can be accessed statically will be interactable immediately, and the user can feel like, hey, this website loaded immediately. They must not be using Blazor WebAssembly. And it's like, no, we are. Blazor WebAssembly is now amazing. Well, it's been amazing forever. It's just that it loads faster and it looks better and it's cool. I am going to get errors with this. We know. But can I still navigate to transfers? All right. So we'll see if the thing works. First, Scott is asking, what is the new that you used here? So this constrains my generic to a class that implements I has lookup item and has a default constructor. So the new indicates that whatever the generic is that we pass in for TLOOKUP item will have a default constructor. Okay, so we turned on the navigation lock. A default constructor, what is that is the question. So when you just do constructor ctor, then as long as there are no parameters being passed in, that is a default constructor. And it's just like if you declared a class without specifying any constructors at all, it inherently gets a default constructor, unless and until you provide your own. So if I now hit this behind a I don't know what I have in here. I look up item view model base item or something. Then this no longer has a default constructor. It only has a constructor that provides one parameter. So I would have to, at this point, explicitly say, here's what you do with a default constructor. And so now that satisfies the requirement to have a default constructor. Cool. Default and primary constructor. And hello, Kilobit. Welcome back. Oh, it's been a week. It's been. If I seem a little bit tired, less energetic, it's because I'm using a lot of energy to process the work that I have remaining for my work product. Again, we're going to be releasing on December 5th to the world, and I literally mean the world. So we'll be releasing on December 5th, and we have we have to send our current version of the product to cybersecurity in as close to production form as possible today before the end of the day. And so I have still a little bit of work to be done. There's one bit of functionality that I completely overlooked, and I am burning through getting that in there. So, yeah. But the app is looking amazing. I'm going to find out whether or not I can just tell people when it is published, when it is deployed, for those of you that are able to download and install it if you feel like checking it out. But that would also be giving away the client's identity, which I don't want to do without their permission. Okay. So, right. Okay, so I'm going to test this navigation lock, confirm external navigation. There are various things that can trigger an external navigation, which is I click on a link that takes us to a page that is not on the same domain. I click on close. I click on refresh. I click on close. I click on, so that's an internal navigation. So let's just go to Google. So trying to navigate manually to a link outside of my application. So you can see that it's happening no matter what. However, our rules will be we only want it to show that message if the record that they are working on is dirty. So what Steve Sanderson did was, what did he do? He had another variable. I don't remember if it was a reference to this or if it was actually the context. It can't be the context, right? I don't think that I can use that edit context with this, can I? Oh, I can. Maybe. And there you go. So we should only get this when our edit context is modified, which means that we have made a change to one of our input bound values. Speaking of input binding, those were the next cool things that I learned today too. And prog testing is here, and he says that he learned something new. Hello, prog testing. What did you learn today? Oh, must have refreshed by now. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this means that I should be able to refresh. I should be able to navigate away to an external site unless and until I modify a value. And it works right out of the box. So what if I undid that? Is it still modified? It is still showing as modified though. Interesting. And Scott says, same. Prog testing, I learned that where T constrained to class I interface, class must implement interface. Ooh. And so prog testing is saying that JS frameworks has something cool. They're called islands. Check out Astro Islands. Why? I'm currently using Blazor. They are, how? You can mix and match different frameworks on the same page. How do islands work in Astro? Astro generates every website with zero client-side JavaScript by default. Use a front-end UI component built with React, and Astro will automatically render it. Blazor kind of did implement something like this. So let me show you the video that I am referring to so it was this one. And one of the many things that he talked about was Blazor custom elements, which is kind of like islands, not quite, but kind of like islands. Oh, that was it right there. Oh, no, it wasn't. This is the next thing that I want to do. It was custom elements, that very top left one. I want to do the bind afters so bad. This is what I'm currently working with, or what I'm playing with. There we go. So this is turning a Blazor component into a custom element. So a HTML element that you can put into any other application type that can render HTML. You do need to add this, yes. So this example here is him showing using Blazor server. So doing this on a server-side technology, in this case, WordPress. But the easier implementation is doing this on Blazor WebAssembly, using the Blazor WebAssembly. So yes, you do still need to add the Blazor runtime, essentially. But my guess is in the future, they're going to make a lightweight version of this. And it's going to be just the things needed to run the custom elements that you are trying to inject. Yes, that is what it's saying. So let's say I have a static HTML. You can have a Blazor WASM as a component. That is correct. Not host it. Instead, you would use blazor.webassembly.js. But again, I don't know the ins and outs of that. Dan Roth is the one that Dan Roth is the one that went over how to do it using Blazor WebAssembly, which is probably this video. And I haven't watched this one yet. What are you currently doing? He's doing minimal API. He's probably actually going to talk about the rate limiting too. Require authorization, so that's one of the cool things. Right. But what if, I'm sure he's going to get to it right now. Here it is. Let's see. Oh. Okay. So at this point, he's talking about including Blazor in an Angular application. And so he wants to replace this counter with .NET Blazor component. He's got the Blazor component here. I'm just relaying what he's currently saying. That's all. And he's registering it as a custom element. And the tag for it is going to be Blazor-counter. I wanted to scroll up just now. So he just added a Blazor counter element. I know you can't really see it. Oh, it's because I was scrolled down. Apps. So now the counter is showing there. Are you actually going to show the setup for it though? No, he's not going to show the setup for it. So I don't know what all needs to be added to your project load or anything like that, but that was just showing you can use Blazor custom elements inside of any other application type, whether it's front end only or server. Hello, Disco. Scott says, I also learned that database first is better for bigger solutions, code first for small, medium solutions. So I like the hybrid approach that they kind of forced us into, Scott, which is if you already have a database established and it's a large solution, then you reverse engineer it, you scaffold your database into a code first, and then you make code first changes to your database structure from there. But people still do have we'll make changes on the database, and then we will do the reverse engineer again to generate the code, which is still a good process. I'm still in favor of only reverse engineering once, and then from then on maintaining the code using migrations in code first. But that's just personal preference. Disco, have they contacted you at all? I haven't checked lately, but hopefully it's stuck this time. I'll try to make it a point to check and make sure that it didn't somehow disappear again. Actually, I'll do it right now. If I can log in. This. Yeah, okay, so it's still in here. It's still in here. Last time I came to this page, it was empty. And I was like, excuse me. Scott said, I preferred code first too all the time until today. I had a chat with an experienced CTO at work today. Yeah, they'll convince you of stuff. Like if your technical expert is comfortable with their way of doing things, they will find it easy. You'll find it easy to give into their explanation because they will touch on all of the good points about the way they do it and all of the bad points about the other way without necessarily incorporating ideas on how the other way could still be a benefit to their approach. Like when I was talking about it just now, I was talking about the benefits of, well, I didn't actually mention the benefits or why I prefer it, but the benefits for me are that even though I'm working on a larger team now, there are still database structure changes that are being maintained by developers. And we don't really own the database. So what we would do is change our models, create the migration, send the scripts to the DBAs, and then they would still run those scripts on the database. But like with the dev database, we pretty much would have free reign over. So we'll make those changes and then do all of the change management stuff with the DBAs for the production, for the test and production databases. Not that I'm actually working on a project that uses databases, but that is a flow that I believe would be benefited by using code first. Excuse me, I have hiccups. Okay, so we got NavigationLock to work when we are trying to navigate away from the page wall. Finally. Oh man. That's one of the weirdest feelings though. Anyway. Don't mind what I'm doing with my mouth. Okay. That was very weird. Berto is already lost. I forgot what I was talking about. NavigationLock, we got it to work with if the form is modified. So here's what we're going to do. Instead of recreating this code, because I'm about to do a confirm internal on before internal navigation, which you can handle and then return a whether navigation is allowed or not. So instead of doing that, here, I'm going to create a custom component, custom navigation lock component, custom navigation lock. And that custom navigation lock is going to have two parameters. Or actually, I didn't want to call it custom navigation lock. Sorry. This was going to be the edit form. Oh, no, never mind. I know why I did that. Gosh, that was dumb. I still want a custom navigation lock component. And I'm going to do this all in the component because there isn't that much. But we're going to have a navigation lock inside of it with confirm navigation equals, and then that's going to be a parameter that gets passed in. Oh, but I'm just recreating it. That brain, make up your mind. We're going to reuse this and call it the EditForm navigation lock. All right, and the parameter is going to be a public edit context set, and may as well make it nullable. Bool allow nav. I don't know why I'm doing just regular bool. Allow nav will be edit context question mark dot is modified, not false. Okay, so there's our undo nav. The other one that we're going to have is the on before navigation, handle before navigation, which has a signature of this, which can be asynchronous, by the way. You can use tasks, which we might end up doing. But the parameter was location changing context. We're just exploring this together, by the way. I could just go back to Steve Sanderson's demo and figure out what exactly he put in here, but it's kind of fun just figuring it out as we go along. So there's probably going to be some something in here that we will set to whether or not we want to allow the navigation to happen. It'll be this method here that we will call. So for now, let's just do something simple, which is going to be if not allow nav, then prevent navigation. So what that should do is even our internal navigations should be blocked when we try going anywhere. But we could just have like our own custom dialog component, which is what we'll most likely use. And I'm going to have that in here as well. So let's reload after our build. Why do you look like there was an error? Oh, I did the same thing. Let's reuse it now, our EditForm navigation lock. And the other thing that we could do, and I don't mind doing this, is having a public bool override allow nav, allow external nav, in which case we will do this is allow nav or allow override external nav. Whoa, shiny owls. And the other one will be any extra pre-callbacks. So this is going to be an event callback of location changed context. Location changed context. Changing context, which is on before internal navigation, which we will say the very first thing that we'll do is check to see, do we have a delegate? And now that I'm going to be using this delegate with an event callback, this needs to be a task at minimum. Then we will return, or actually no, we need to perform the operation. Invoke a sync, passing in the context. Because it doesn't matter if they've done something before navigation, the thing that's really going to matter is, was it already handled? So if context by this point is navigation intercepted, nope, not that one. It's a cancellation token that can be used if this navigation was canceled, for example, because the user triggered a different navigation. I like that. So is cancellation requested, do nothing. But there's still something else. I would like something that lets us know that the user handled all of the navigation stuff themselves. And I don't think we have that. Like, I would want another property in context that we could set somewhere else that says has been handled or is handled. Yeah, that's being too clever. So for now, I'll just say if they provide their own implementation on before internal navigation, then we'll let that decide what to do and then not break, and then we'll just exit. So what that means is we really can make this just a task, where here we are returning that task, and everywhere else we return task, completed task. Like so. So I'm not going to do anything else here yet. For now, the only thing that we're going to do is prevent navigation, which is not going to be helpful because we're not going to see any information on the screen. Oh, poo. I think we have to surround this with quotation marks so that it reads it as one thing. One statement is the word I was looking for. Okay, we'll fix the drop-down list issue soon. The good thing about the drop-down list is that we are now requesting it from the correct endpoints. And I think the only thing that's missing is implementing those endpoints. So not bad, not bad. Okay, so I make a change. I want to navigate away. It lets me. Oh, because I'm not using it yet. I keep forgetting that we need to actually put this into the data entry components. EditForm. What? Imports. Using, we'll figure out where you go. There. That's where it goes. Cool. And that means that the only thing we need to specify is the edit context. Oh, because I called it edit context. Actually, if I don't specify a new name, we can just use context, right? Duh. I forgot how these things work. Remove line 12, which is card. Oh. Wait, why? Blazor UI shared components. These are two different projects, though. So I have them broken up by project. Except for all of the Microsoft stuff. I would do all of the Microsoft stuff, all of the system stuff together in one big group, and then project, 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 project. Is it causing OCD? Am I triggering you? I don't want to trigger you. Just OCD, yeah. I'm sorry. Ooh. Interesting. So I think I'm going to have one for the payment entry context. What's the name of this context? Payment data entry item. and one for the new line item. It's kind of weird that I have the new line item as the overall wrapper. Is it because I have a submit button? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Shouldn't the new line item only be surrounding these? Oh, I think it was for the purpose of styling it. I was too lazy to fix the styles. And if I surrounded the line item type, it would get a div or form element surrounding it. We'll fix that someday, right? But we don't need to do a navigation lock on new line items. We could have a new line item that is filled in, but not count that as a modified payment data entry item until we add a new line item, in which case we will have updated this context. So that's going to be fine. I think we're going to be fine. Copy you. Deposit data entry. We already did. I don't remember doing it, but we did. Okay, so now if I make a modification, that's not an amount, that's an amount. And then I try to navigate away. I can't navigate away, but we're getting no UI telling me why. Why can't I click on anything? Escape button. Cut. Restore you back to your original values. Nothing. What if I try to go to another page? Then it goes to another page. Son of a... You were supposed to lock the external navigation. Override allow external nav will be false unless it's set. We get a context. Edit context is modified is the thing that tells us whether or not we are allowed navigation. Why didn't that let me, or why didn't that prevent me from doing an external navigation, such as a refresh? Dang it. And we saw it work. Oh. I wonder if it's because after changing the value of edit context dot is modified, or it's not even a value, it's a method. So it's not re-querying that method to check for a new value of allow nav. Proof div allow nav. Oops. Oh, here's false. Either that or I'm backward. Wait, no, I'm not backwards. So this would be disallow nav, first of all. Why aren't you letting me rename? It's Swameware. Hello, Swameware. How have you been? I know I haven't been around much, but I've also been looking out for your streams. Have you been super busy? Just not feeling like streaming? There we go. That's better. Where's my confirm external navigation? I just need to name this variable the same thing as what this is. Confirm nav. And that's going to be, if edit context is modified, then yes, we do want to confirm nav. What? Swimmer got a shout out. Holy cow. So if you have not been following Swimwear, feel free to click on the little heart icon above. Man, they did cut down on the amount of time that shows up. If you didn't have a chance to click on that because Delay didn't notify you of it, head on over to his channel, give him a sub and or a follow. Is that what you do on Twitch? Give him a follow. And just keep an eye out for when he streams. He does .NET development. He's been doing a lot of, at least this was a couple months ago since I last saw him. All is well now and need to get back at it. Awesome. So he'll be starting up again, probably. I mean, there's definitely no pressure from me. So if you weren't planning on getting started, don't get started on my account. But I will check you out whenever you're live, whenever I see that you're live. Man, I wish I could make this a task. Not a task, a function instead. That returns a Boolean. Maybe I can. How about this? If we have a delegate and it's been handled, then we return task, completed task. Does this actually work? I'm kind of interested to try this out. But Deflux is also here. Hello, Deflux. I'm not going for very much longer today. I know I said that on Friday and I went super overtime, but today is the day that we're sending our current product out to cybersecurity, and I want to make sure that our build has the latest and most complete version of the product because it is going to be released on the 5th of December. And so we need to do all of our cybersecurity passes and getting everything signed and all of that fun stuff. Okay, last check. We will be asking for an external confirm. There it is. Good grief. And now internally, we also cannot navigate. So one more thing that I would like to do is to have a, not the flyout. Do we have a shared? Oh, this needs to be in shared. Crap. This needs to be in shared. Ops. Good thing I did not create a code behind file yet. I mean, it wouldn't like break stuff. It just takes one more extra step to make sure the namespaces are lined up. Cool. You. You're nullable. There is no such thing as has delegate. I don't think you can do it this way because it will complain about awaiting void. So I think I have to check for null. Then we can get handled. Why are you angry at this? The task itself is not null, though. I don't know, that's really weird. So maybe I can now put this here. Oh, because I have a question mark, obviously. And so now that I am doing an async thing up there, I can get rid of the return tasks. Okay, did that make sense? Hopefully that made sense to somebody. I turned this from an event callback into a function that returns a task. So I can await the returned thing and get back a Boolean from that awaited thing. And that way, if I have, oh, right. Close your eyes, Scott. I really don't mean to trigger your OCD. Closed. It's closed. You can reopen your eyes. Okay. What we should be able to do with this then is in our data entry component, for any of them, if we felt like it, we could, it is this, we could enter, what? I didn't actually add one to this. We could intercept what it does for, actually, the one that we would do it on would be the deposit, because I would want to verify. That's something else, never mind. But anyway, if I wanted to, I could on before internal navigation. I would provide a function that returns a Boolean, a task of Boolean. So I'm just going to put it here for now just to show the example. I don't know why you're still doing that. For those of you techies, even if you don't really like science-y type stuff, sci-fi, I would still recommend you check out a show called The Peripheral if you have Amazon Prime. It's pretty cool. I like it. Anyway, private task of bool handle before internal navigation. That takes in location changing context. I remembered context. Return return task from result true for now. So this should work as our parameter there. So it's kind of like an event callback, except that it will accept a, or it will give us back a value that we can use in the component. So in this case, for all of our pages and data entry forms, we'll be able to navigate away from them even if there are no, or when there are no changes only, sorry. we'll be able to go to a different page. As soon as we have, and this is going to lock me in, but as soon as we have a changed value, we can't navigate internally and we can't navigate externally unless we click the leave button, because independent websites are not allowed to prevent the user from navigating away from them, closing the browser, etc. So, however, our payments page, no matter what, oh, I guess I would need to specify what exactly I'm expecting the return value to be. And I really do want the confirm value to be handled navigation. So here context.prevent navigation. And so let me write that as a comment. This is a callback that is invoked before the navigation is performed. The returned Boolean is used to determine if the remaining default logic should be performed. I need better wording for that, but something along the lines of we have already this is essentially the stop propagating. Nope, not stop propagating. It's pretty much prevent default. Yeah. If false is returned, the default logic for checking whether or not navigation should be blocked will occur. Otherwise, nothing further will happen. Something like that. Does that make sense? In JavaScript, you have that prevent default, which for like a click action, instead of doing here's my custom code, after my custom code is done, then continue doing the rest of the click action, whatever you would normally do for a click action, for example. Okay, so I really like the direction that's going. There's just one small to do. So I'm going to get rid of this because I don't really want to use it. I just wanted to show how I would use it if we were going to use that. But the to-dos that I need to put in here for next time, because I am planning on stopping in a few minutes, are add a modal for confirming navigation. Right, and that's why he did it as JavaScript. So I was trying to figure out why in his video, Steve Sanderson opted to have a dialog pop up. And I think, use the JavaScript modal to prompt for the question for whether the user wants to allow or disallow. And I think it has to do with being able to still access the location changing context in line. Cool. Okay, so that's what we have to do. I'm going to check in these changes and put added new navigation lock for edit forms. What else did we do though? There's a lot of extra stuff. I think I started setting up the logic. This is where we, I think, integrated some of Scott's recommendations for setting up, or no, it was Live Coding's most recent recommendations, actually, for adding the thing with the new constructor. So we used a hybrid of Scott's previous recommendations regarding using this kind of repository approach almost, and Live Coding's recommendations for our generics and how we can get everything to show up with the right list type. And it was cool. It was good times. And I think that that is working the way that it's supposed to. The only thing that we need to do is get these throw new not implemented exceptions taken care of, so we can actually start getting some list data. And I think it's the client side lookup list item service. Lookup list service. Is it? Is it? Confirm. Confirm. I can't find the shared client. Here you are. No, the shared client is the one that's implemented. The server is not implemented. Okay, so next time, Friday, we're going to have Community Day. I'm not going to cancel nor cut it. Oh, I am going to cut it short. I'm going to cut Friday short as well. I have a training session that's going to start at 12. But this training session is going to be put on by NVIDIA on how to use their Omniverse software. Oh, I'm so excited for it. It's going to be really, really, really cool. So for now, though, I am going to end my stream and get back to my project so that I can get as much done as I can. I have a meeting at 1. Omniverse. Yes, Dukasoft. Thank you for the shout out to Swimmer earlier. Oh no. But it's connected though. Isn't it? Try again. If you aren't a part of our Discord, feel free to there it goes. Feel free to join our Discord. Link is in the chat and also in my Twitch page for those of you watching in the future on the YouTubes. Added default constructor constraint. I will hopefully remember. I know I'm going to be super busy today, but hopefully I'll remember sometime today before the end of the day to export my video to YouTube so that it can be scheduled and posted by tomorrow 11:30 most likely, or maybe noon, who knows. I'm sorry, Deflux. Save all. Commit and push. Okay, so laytest version is on the project page, and yeah, I will next time 24-hour stream. I don't think so. I will catch you all the next time. It will be Community Day. We'll do the 1 hour of Community Day, and then I will go to my training. Oh, it's gonna be so much fun. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you around on Discord, on other people's channels, and Twitch as I lurk on their channels. I'm lurking on Finite's channel currently, very quietly. 24 hours trimmed down to 1 hour. Exactly. Okay, so ciao for now. I'll see you guys later. Juice. Bye. Music. Microphone. Music, I said.